What is up, Pokemon GTS? XTheFall3nX, aka Ryan here, bringing you guys a Pokemon Showdown OU battle. Now, before we get into this, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about myself. I got into Pokemon, competitively in 4th gen. Other than that, I've been playing, the games all my life, of course, since I was, 5, 6 years old, whatever. Got into competitive battling in 4th gen, didn't really do it much. And then when 5th gen came out, I said screw it, tried it, liked it, and got better. So I've been doing this for a few years now. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'd say I'm okay at the game. I know what to expect from things and stuff, blah blah blah. But this isn't about me. This is about this OU battle. So, my team. I have a Sun team, of course, with a Choice Banded Dragonite, standard, specially defensive not specially defensive, physically defensive Fortress with Volt Switch and stuff. I have a specially defensive Heatran, a modest Life Orb Kingdra because this is pretty much my check/answer to rain teams. I have a weird Ninetales, it's offensive, but it's got Will-O-Wisp on it. And I have a Venusaur with Earthquake as well as HP Ice and Giga Drain and Growth. And it should be pretty fun. So, his team. Landorus T is a problem because if it has HP Ice, it can pretty much hit 4 out of 5 of my guys super effectively. Jellicent's not really a big deal, Ferrothorn's not a big deal. T-Tar is kind of problematic depending on the set. Starmie can be a problem if Sun's not up with Venusaur, and I can't really set up because he has that goddamn Ditto, and he can take my boosts. So, without further ado, let's get into this. So, I choose to lead off with Kingdra because it can do the most work against his team, as he leads off with his Landorus T. Now, I'm going to go straight for Hydro Pump because I figure he won't think I'll have it because this is a Sun team, but either way, he makes a good play and goes into his Jellicent, as I do go for the Hydro Pump, and at the end of the day, I miss, so it's like nothing even happened. But now, I know either Scald or Will-O-Wisp is coming, so the safest switch is into specially defensive Heatran, as he does indeed go for Wisp and gives me Flash Fire. Now, I decided to set up Rocks, because he's probably going to be switching around a lot, and that Landorus can U-turn and stuff, so Rocks are always good, and I can bait out the Starmie. So now, I'm actually going to stay in and risk taking another Surf. I guess he has Surf and Will-O-Wisp instead of Scald and Toxic, which is good, because that way you guarantee burns unless you miss, and blah blah blah. Anyway, he goes for Surf, as I'm going to now switch out into my Ninetales. I'm sorry I'm getting a little ahead of the narration, guys, but yeah, I'm going to switch into Ninetales because I can get up the Sun, and his Surfs will be doing next to nothing now, because Heatran is especially defensive, and it won't hurt Ninetales that much, as you see. Only did 38%, which isn't bad to say. That's a Jellicent, and this is a Ninetales with no defense or HP investment. So now, I'm going to go ahead and switch out, and I'm going to go into Claire, my Kingdra, predicting him to make a switch of some sort. And like I said, Claire deals with most of his stuff pretty damn well. So he goes into Starmie, most likely to spin, and I do see the leftovers right here, so I know no matter what he does, I can go for the Draco Meteor and either do a lot of damage or just straight take him out. So that's what I'm going to do. Drop a Draco on that thing, and boom. Modest Life Orb Kingdra Draco Meteor. Putting in some work, destroying Starmies, not too shabby. So now he goes into T-Tar, and I figure he's probably just going to try to Pursuit Trap me, so I'm actually going to stay in and just go for Hydro Pump, as I do 46%, which means he's definitely not defensive, and he's actually going to Pursuit Trap me like I predicted, so he's definitely Choice Banded looking at that damage, because like I said, I didn't switch. But I don't want to switch now because obviously he went for Pursuit, but instead he's actually going to switch out and go into his Jellicent instead of taking another Hydro Pump and getting weaker, which is a pretty good play because now he's going to get his Water Absorb, get all that HP back, as my Kingdra is really worn down now, but I'm going to save it because it's got 2 Life Orb hits left in it, and it should be pretty good later on. So I'm going to set the Sun back up because I really don't fear anything this Jellicent can do. He goes for Will-O-Wisp, but of course I just absorb that because I'm a Ninetales, I'm a Fire type, and I don't care. So now is a really good chance to set up Stealth Rocks again, and because his Starmie's dead, he can't he can't spin unless he happens to transform into my Fortress with his Ditto, and then he would be able to spin, and that would suck. But he goes for Surf, in the sun it really does nothing to the Heatran, which is awesome. I love special defensive Heatran when I'm using it. So now, I know he's going to switch, but I really don't care, and Stealth Rock is the most optimal play, of course. He goes into T-Tar, though, and I mean, I could have gone for the Lava Plume and potentially gotten a burn, so that's kind of risky, but it worked out for him. And now I'm just going to protect and see what he locks himself into, because as I said, he's got to be Choice Banded because of the damage he did to my Kingdra. So he goes for Stone Edge, and he actually misses, so the protect didn't matter, and whatever, the miss didn't matter rather. And now I'm going to switch out into my defensive Fortress because I know I can live 2 and maybe scare him out and go for Volt Switch or something, but he does get the crit. I live with Sturdy, and now Fortress is basically useless because of that crit, so I'm just going to leave it in his Death Fodder, and maybe he'll miss. But no, he does hit, so down goes my Fortress, which is sad. So now I'm going to go into Kingdra, and now I'm going to play some mind games. I know he's been switching in Jellicent, and he's going to think I'm going to do it again. I mean, he's going to predict me to go for the fucking Dragon move, because he's always switched in Jellicent. But instead, I predict the Ferrothorn switch, hit it with HP Fire, and since we're not in the sun, it doesn't die. That's still a friggin' HP Fire from a modest Life Orb Kingdra. And now I go for Draco because it'll kill anything, and it'll use up my last Life Orb hit, and it'll kill the Ferrothorn at least. But I miss, and the Ferrothorn lives, and it's just chilling there mocking me. And that really sucked, but there's not much I can do about it. That's just part of the game. So I'm going to go into my Ninetales now because Sun Boosted Fire Blast, again, it's powerful, boosted, it'll kill anything, but I missed the Fire Blast as well, and he's just going to get off a free Thunder Wave on my Ninetales and really cripple me, because now his T-Tar will outspeed me, of course, which really, really sucks. So I finally hit the Fire Blast and get that damn Ferrothorn out of my sight, which is always a plus. So his Ferrothorn goes down, and I'm happy because Ferrothorn is really problematic sometimes, especially when it has T-Wave. I hate T-Wave and Ferrothorn. But now he goes into T-Tar to get up his sand, and I know he's going to pursue trap me. He has no reason not to, so I'm going to stay in and go for the Will-O-Wisp. But I miss the Will-O-Wisp. Hacks on hacks on hacks. But whatever, there's not a whole lot I can do about it. So I'm just going to leave in Ninetales as Death Fodder, as he does win the Weather War, but it really doesn't matter at this point, as you guys will see. So now, I'm going to go into Venusaur, and I'm going to go for HP Ice, expecting him to go into his Ditto and transform into me to resist the Giga Drain that would obviously take out his T-Tar so he could have Death Fodder, but no, he stays in, and he goes for Pursuit, and he does a lot of damage. And at this point, I'm like questioning him, like, bro, why didn't you switch? Because that would have been like a crazy-ass play. So I thought I was on my A game, but no, he just stays in. Which sucks, but whatever. So I'm just going to Giga Drain, get that Tyranitar out of my face, finally. As now he goes into the Ditto. Sorry, I kind of talked ahead of the narration. But he goes into Ditto, and this Venusaur has HP Ice, Growth, Giga Drain, and Earthquake. And I know he's going to predict me to go into Heatran to resist either the Giga Drain or the HP Ice, which is why I'm going to make the switch into Dragonite to be immune to that Earthquake, as it works out beautifully, and he's either slower than me, well, I assume he's Choice Scarf actually. So he goes ahead and switches out into Landorus T, and I'm a Choice Banded Adamant Dragonite. I gotta click Outrage. He does get the Intimidate on me, but as you can see, even with the Intimidate, that did 50%. And I mean, I can't switch, I'm locked into Outrage. So I'm just going to have to go for it again, and I do. And luckily, I'm faster, and I 2-hit KO that Landorus, which is great, because now his last 2 Pokemon are Jellicent and Ditto. I'm faster than Jellicent, and if he turns into Ditto, if he locks himself into the wrong move, he basically loses. So, he goes into Jellicent now, and I do get a 3-turn Outrage here, so I'm forced to go for it again, and I nail that Jellicent, do 50%, which is good, but he's able to Will-O-Wisp me as my Outrage ends. And now here's where I have to let fate decide who should win this game. As you can see, he's toxic, but if I switch, he's gonna get a free recover, and he's gonna be annoying and stally and a fucking Jellicent. So what I'm gonna do is stay in, even though I'm burned and confused. Luckily, I break through the confusion and hit that thing with an Outrage, and it dies. So finally, his last Pokemon is Ditto, and no matter what he locks himself into, I win, because Venusaur can take an Earthquake, and Heatran can take anything else because my other two moves are Fire Punch and Outrage. So I'm actually going to stay in and just go for Outrage and, you know, beat Death Fodder. But somehow I outspeed him, so he wasn't even Choice Scarfed. And the Ditto goes down, and that will leave me with the narrow 3-0. And yeah, I pretty much win the game. Now this battle may not look as close as looked like it was as close as I made it sound, but I mean, some of these plays, man, I really had to think about this one. Because if not, that Ditto would have just came in and ruined my life. And since he didn't have the Choice Scarf, I'm assuming he had like a Lum Berry or something. That's the only thing I could really think of, but yeah. I think that'll about do it for this video, guys. I'm really sorry if you don't like the background noise, but I am in college, and there's people, because I'm in my dorm room right now, and this is my built-in microphone. It's built into my laptop, so I'm sorry about the buzzing in the background, but there's not much I can do. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Check out my channel for something similar to this. Subscribe to the GTS if you haven't already for more awesome community videos. And I think that'll do it. So anyway, I'll see you guys next time, and take care. Thanks for watching.